Minnesota Vikings are finalizing a trade to acquire left tackle Cam Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars. It is a draft pick that is going to Jacksonville as part of the deal.
Phil told Cam that he wasn't starting. Was there an argument between those two at all or anything? No?
Did you see one?
No. I was told that there might have been some words exchanged, so I wanted to check.
Well, anytime you have a conversation, there's words exchanged.
Angry words exchanged.
Oh.
How about that?
Yeah, no, that'd be news to me.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome in Jaguars Today on this newsy kind of Wednesday around these parts, at least for us, Tony, for a 2-6 football team. When you trade a guy who started as many games as Cam Robinson has started for this organization, and that's kind of noteworthy. And we'll get into a lot of the particulars of that coming up today. John Oehser will join us. How were you? Everything good?
Oh, good, yeah.
All right. I would not trade you for a 2026 conditional pick.
I appreciate it.
Kidding me, man? It would take multiple firsts on, and, that would be my condition. I'd have to have premium selections for you. Pockets? You could probably have
Just don't take me to Minnesota. It's about to get cold there.
I will package you with a 7th for somebody's 6th. What about the Deontay Johnson compensation?
Yeah.
Deontay and a 6th for a 5th? Like an early 6th for a likely late 5th. Like, man.
Yeah.
Was he a turd or what?
But
I don't know.
It's Baltimore doing the Baltimore thing because they're looking at, I don't know how active they'll be in free agency.
Oh, I don't fault Baltimore.
Right. Like, it's Carolina doing the Carolina thing, too.
And they're paying a bunch of his salary, apparently. Right. Like the Jags, I don't know what percentage, but reportedly the Jags will pay a percentage of the money that's going to Cam Robinson, so it's not a big savings here.
Yeah. Every year, Baltimore trades for some guy that's about to be a free agent so that they can get a compensatory pick. They do this all the time. Right? And I wouldn't be surprised if that's exactly how this winds up playing out with Deontay, because they're not a very active team in free agency virtually ever, right? The Baltimore Ravens, but they almost always every year trade for somebody that winds up getting signed somewhere in free agency and at least netting them a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick coming back and renting whoever it is for half a season. They do this kind of thing a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. But look, if you are Carolina and you're going to pick up a bunch of his salary anyway, wouldn't you want him around to find out if you can develop Bryce Young, if he's going to be playing?
I would think so.
Like, wouldn't you? I mean, is it really worth the 20 spots you're going to move up from the 6th to the 5th round or whatever? When you factor in all the compensatory picks at the end of the 5th round, they're going to leapfrog with that deal. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what their professor's doing in the lab with any of that stuff up in Carolina, but whatever it is, it's all blown up in their face every time they've done it.
Right, so the Jags are packaging Cam with a 7th for 5th that can move up to – the 7th can disappear based on playing time, and the 5th can go to a 4th based on playing time. So if Cam stays healthy, it sounds like it's Cam Robinson for a 4th-round pick 2 years down the line. Now, I made the mention yesterday, that seems like the kind of move a GM who feels like he's got job security makes, right? And some people were like, well, wait a minute now. I mean, he's got to take what he can get. Well, if you want to take what you can get, what do they always say? Deadlines produce deals, right? Well, the trade deadline's not till next Tuesday. You might have had 3 more teams in need of a tackle by the time next Monday rolled around, Tone, if you were going to wait and play that game. Or was it necessary to remove Cam Robinson right now from this organization? And, I talked about this with Tony and Dylan on Monday off the air. At that point, one person had told me this story. And since then, multiple people have confirmed different aspects of this, that basically Cam Robinson said, if I'm not going to start, I'm not going to play. You heard Jeff Logman. We asked him yesterday. Now, Jeff didn't use those words. I'm not putting those words in Jeff's mouth. Jeff said Cam's on the sideline, like in pregame warmups, socks pushed down, not taped up, clearly looking like a guy who has no immediate thought that he would be called upon to play in that football game. And Jeff said, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know the exact words he used, but the tone was, if they wanted to go to him, it would have taken him a while to get ready to go in. Because he wasn't taped up. He wasn't ready to go.
Yeah.
And I was told by multiple people who are observing this, keep in mind, I'm in the Miller Electric Center. I can't see all this. So I rely on other people to tell me what they see. Sure. That Cam stood apart from his teammates, stood apart from the offensive line group, didn't participate. Here's a guy who's active on game day.
Yeah.
Now I understand maybe you don't think the best option is to slide Walker Little inside, but it's got to at least be a consideration, right? When Ezra Cleveland goes out of the game, because you've done it before. And I'm not saying it's ideal for Walker Little. He doesn't want to play guard. You know who else doesn't want to play a position that isn't his preferred one? Cam Robinson.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a right tackle. I'm a left tackle. You're whatever the hell we tell you to be.
Yeah, it's one of the thinking through, all right, how am I going to remember Cam Robinson and his time in Jacksonville? I'll remember he got franchised twice. I'll remember that. And I was in favor of the first franchise tag. The second one caught me off guard, right? Extended after he got the second franchise tag. He played here a long time. 7.5 years is a long time, especially for an offensive lineman like that. Like it's a long time. He was the left tackle for the football team, and he refused to switch positions if he was asked, right? Like those are the things I'm going to remember about Cam Robinson. And as far as how good or bad a player he was, I think he was an okay left tackle, right? I already had someone respond to something I put out there in that kind of regard last night and said, is he the second best left tackle in franchise history? I was like, well, maybe, but you're having that conversation against Khalif Barnes and Eugene Monroe.
Yeah.
That's the main competition, and I don't think Cam Robinson is any better than those two guys were as far as what he did on the field, right? And I think all three of those guys are half the player at best that Tony Boselli ever was, right? Like they're not even it's not the same game that they play when you compare those guys to one another. So is he an okay left tackle? Yeah.
Yeah, he was a solid player. I'm not trying to rewrite history or anything like that.
He's fine.
But is there, I think the school of thought is Walker Little may be better in the run game. Cam's better as a pass protector.
Sure.
Okay? But that they're about equal when you grade it out overall. Doug Peterson said on Monday that Walker Little, he thought after maybe a bit of a slow start, again, paraphrasing here, played better as the game went on. Mm-hmm. Look, didn't Doug Peterson also say when asked about Roy Robertson Harris being dealt that there's no fire sale? We don't anticipate necessarily this was an opportunity that arose. Or is this just an opportunity that arose as well? I mean, I get it. I don't blame a team. Put aside any of the drama, the potential drama behind the scenes. To trade a tackle on an expiring contract makes
all the
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Right? Totally. You got two of them on expiring contracts. Get something for them. A lot of people said, hey, maybe you should have done that in the offseason. Maybe you should have done that a year or two ago, whatever. Okay, maybe you should have, but this team felt like they could get something done this year. I really believe that, right? And you look at all their losses, 4 of the 6 are one-score games and could have easily gone either way.
Yeah.
And so they're thinking, man, with a couple of better plays on our part or coaching decisions or a few less mistakes or whatever, we'd be sitting there at 4-4 at the worst right now. Maybe we'd 5-3, whatever. You can't win all the close games, okay? But so is this a sign in part that they just decided, well, the reality is we're 2-6 and we're not getting back into this thing. And I really wouldn't fault them if that was the case.
No.
But again, and people say, well, the GM's got to take what he's offered. Well, you don't have to take that if he doesn't want to. If he wants to wait a week and find out, because if you really think, if you're Trent Baalke, that as Shad Khan said, we got to win now, right? All the excuses are gone. This is the best roster this franchise has ever had. That if there was real pressure of the guillotine hanging over your neck with your job security at the end of the season, are you not maybe pushing to find out if you can get, hey, maybe can I get a safety back? Can I get a defensive tackle back? Can I get something back that can help this football team right now? They've done it before in the season. And to me, that really strikes me as a move that is a GM who thinks, 2 years down the line, I'll be happy to have this extra pick at my disposal.
Or is at least managing it still, like that's his mentality.
Right, and I think that, exactly. He can't speak for Shad Khan. I can't speak for Shad Khan.
Yeah.
But to me, that my interpretation of it, maybe I'm wrong, but all I can do is tell you how I feel about it.
Yeah. And look, I don't know what's going to wind up happening at the end of the season with him or Doug or any of those kind of things. But, we've had these kind of conversations before about Dave Caldwell and previous GMs before him, right? I want them to continue to do the job, doing and making the best decisions for the franchise. I don't care about your future in 5 years. I know you're not going to be here. I'm not under any illusion that Trent Baalke is still going to be the GM of the Jags in the next 7 or 8 years, right? Like at some point, it's going to end for Trent Baalke in Jacksonville. Do the job right now with the whatever the best interest of the franchise is in the moment. That's how we ought to be doing the job. As you said, I think it makes all the sense in the world to trade away Cam Robinson. And I think what happened this weekend only pushes that forward. I don't know if their intention after the concussion was, all right, now we're going to trade Cam. I'm not sure that that's exactly how this whole thing played out, but I think a lot of the chaos that Cam invited with the way that it got handled this weekend puts him in a position where, look, if we can actually get potentially a 4th-round pick right back for Cam Robinson at this point, we have no plans to bring him back. He's not going to be the left tackle going into 2025 for the football team. I don't know if Walker Little will be either, but at least we're going to get to see in the last half of this season, is Walker Little good enough to be the left tackle for the football team at this point? Now it invites swing tackles now wide open for the football team, exactly how they would handle that if one of their tackles were to go down.
I think it's Cole Van Lannon
for now.
In some, right, for now, for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
It's
and
in some capacity.
Like, I at some point, right, do they actually get their draft pick this year active, Javon Foster? I don't know. You know what any of that kind of stuff looks like, but it does feel, if Walker was the guy that got hurt right now, I'd guess Anton would go to left, and they bring Cole Van Lannon in to play right. Like, I guess that would be what they do, and Cole would be the direct backup for Anton, if anything were to go on with that. But that's not Walker Little.
No, it's not. But
right?
at the same time, you know, when you're 2-6, you know, you can't have a great backup at every position
It's all
anyway. And so, like, I truly do get it, but the timing of it, the quickness, the rapid pace in which this went down yesterday, to me, does indicate that there was an element of, well, if you're going to make this about you, we can't have that infect our locker room. It's bad enough that we're 2-6. We can't have these young guys going, oh yeah, I got the attitude's got to be, I got to get mine. As long as I'm taken care of, as long as I'm starting, things are cool. And you know, because we're all about it, except when it impacts our personal desires.
There's not enough going right with the football team to allow that kind of thing to stick around.
Agreed.
Right? Like that,
right.
When it shows up, you're like, all right, you got to go.
And by the way,
we don't have space for this.
I have not talked personally with Cam Robinson about this, right? I didn't, but I've been told the same story, or the core elements the same from multiple people on this, that his reaction was not a good one. And Grant, I'm not saying that you should be like doing backflips. Hey, we're benching you, you know, or you're just not going to play or whatever. Right. And so is this performance-based, based on how Walker Little played? Because I again, was under the impression, according to Doug Peterson's own words, that you can't lose your job due to injury. Mm-hmm. So Travis Etienne, no matter what Tank Bigsby does, is going to get the starting job back. And so by that token, no matter what Walker Little did, you didn't think he was the starter going into that game when Cam's cleared to go. Yeah. I can understand him being upset about that, but
that was one of those head coach moments again. It's like Doug's been around long enough to know you can answer that question saying whoever gives us the best chance to win on a play or in a game, that's who we're going to play in that situation. You can answer it that way.
Of course you can
right?
lose your
because
job
that's
due
how
to injury.
Everyone handles the actual situation in reality, not, no, we can't bench him because the other guy won the job. It's like, well, what are we doing? Right? Like and he's been around long enough to know that's actually the answer to the question. We're going to put whoever on the field gives us the best chance to win. That's it. Right? That's the job of the head coach.
It's a constant evaluation, blah, blah, blah,
right.
blah, 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 blah. All right. So today, if you want to react to that, you're certainly welcome to. Do you think there are any other potential trade candidates here that you'd like to see the Jags get some compensation for if this season is going down the toilet for them? And at 2-6, it's got one foot in there right now. You know, if you're going to get flush, you got to get the whole thing in there. So anyway, I don't doubt that they're going to go out with the guys that they have and try to beat Philadelphia and play as hard as they can this week. But will they have all the same pieces around? And again, after the Roy Robertson and Harris deal, I don't anticipate any moves being made. I believe that was the word. Well, I mean, I didn't buy it then, and I don't buy it now. So what changed, right? Oh, Walker Little's now our starter. Look, the situation was always going to be, you can afford to move one of those tackles if you're not winning football games, if you're reaching the point where you're kind of falling out of it here. And I'm not saying they're mathematically eliminated, not saying they're going to quit or anything like that. I'll leave that up to Andre Sisco to say. All right, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines if you want to get in there, or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can hit us up on social media with your question of the day, just asking what is your reaction to Cam Robinson being dealt to the Minnesota Vikings. Yesterday, hit us up at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
All right, I'll take a quick time out, come back with some of your calls and social media reaction to the Jags moving on from a guy who started a lot of football games for him here in Jacksonville since being drafted back in, 2017 for Cam Robinson. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Get the coach's perspective.
Constant improvement, every day, every week.
Doug Peterson joins the Frangie Show Fridays at 4:05.
This group is eager to win.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
The great ones know how to respond when their backs are against the wall. And Trevor Lawrence would have another legendary moment in a teal and black uniform. Thanks to an 8-play sequence capped off by an Evan Ingram 14-yard touchdown, Jacksonville would tie the score at 27 with 1:48 left in regulation. The 87-yard drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Hey, John, I think everyone in Jacksonville is ready to elevate their ride.
Absolutely. At Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, we have stunning 2024 Escalades and Lyrics in stock right now.
And the great news is you can get a $4,000 Escalade loyalty rebate.
Don't wait for the 2025 models to come in.
Luxury is just a visit away. Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Not available with some other offers. Must take retail delivery by 10/31/24 plus tax tag title $8.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Flo here from Progressive to tell you how you get more than great savings with us. You get customer service access through our mobile app, online chat, or by phone.
That's a lot of ways I can get in touch with you. I see what's going on here. You can't name favorites, but I'm your #1 customer.
Actually, we offer all our customers these ways to contact us.
I'm sure you give just any customer your personal
company
contact info.
Well, you did call us more than any other customer this year. So in that sense, you are our #1 customer.
Get help from Progressive through the website, app, chat, or phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of the United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
You don't have to be a football star to get a signing bonus. The team at Republic Services needs your skills, and they're paying up to $5,000 for you to join the roster. You'll be joining a winner. As an essential business, the Republic Services trucks have not stopped rolling with hourly and weekly pay and better benefits and vacation packages than the rest of the league. Driver trainees, $1,000 sign-on bonus. CDL drivers, $3,000. Diesel mechanics, $5,000 bonus. Join the winning team at Republic Services today. Visit republicservices.com.
Equal opportunity employer.
Jags Hall of Famer Tony Baselli puts on his gold jacket every Monday morning at 7:20 on The Drill.
Does look good.
It's Hall of Fame Monday with Tony Baselli.
Good? It's great.
Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida on 1010XL.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, rolling lot bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality product and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Chelsea here. Florida homeowners, are your windows working as hard as they should? With Renewal by Andersen, our energy-efficient custom windows and doors help keep the cool air in during those scorching months. That means lower energy bills and a more comfortable home year-round. For the month of October, Renewal by Andersen has a limited time offer. Buy 4 windows and or patio doors and get the 5th one free. Some restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for all the details. That's bestwindowsflorida.com. License number CGC 1527613.
In its final year, we encourage you to help create great futures for young people when you run or walk at Mackenzie's Run, Saturday, November 23rd. Join Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for a 5K and 1-mile fun run through the beautiful stadium course at TPC Sawgrass. Enjoy food, live music, face painting, family fun, and more at our Runners Village. Register at mackenziesrun.org. Mackenzie's 5K and Fun Run, November 23rd. mackenziesrun.org.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a gravy taster from Jacksonville, Florida, me, Dennis Mosley.
Hi, Ken.
Okay, Dennis. 100 plumbers surveyed, top answer on the board. What does it mean if someone says your home has hard water?
It's made of ice? Let's see. Hard water. Oh, is it club soda mixed 4-to-1 with vodka?
Last chance, Dennis. What is hard water?
Oh, is it that lime scale stuff that makes my taps all crusty?
That's right, Dennis. And a water treatment system from Bueller Air and Plumbing will eliminate troublesome lime scale deposits that can ruin your expensive appliances and let your neighbors know for sure that you are cool.
I wonder if I can get me a gin and tonic faucet.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, so, Tony, there is some other non-Cam Robinson news with the Jags. Jags, one of their 5th-round picks this year, could be getting closer to debuting.
Yeah, they've opened the 21-day practice window for Keelan Robinson, which now is a good time for all that to happen. Not sure when Devin Duvernay is going to be able to get back, right, for the team, but it's not going to be for a couple weeks from now at least. We'll see.
They signed Velus Jones yesterday, the former Chicago Bear.
Yeah. So they're obviously looking at special team stuff, which makes sense with Parker now being the starting receiver for the football team.
You're going to take a lot of those duties off of his shoulders.
Protect him a little bit.
Now, Taylor Dahl, our in-house Chicago Bear, I'll call her observer, superfan, whatever. Anyway, she either posted or retweeted a video yesterday of Jones having the ball bounce off him in multiple occasions when he was back.
Is that why he was available, maybe?
Don't know. Well, I mean, he got waived, and no one claimed him.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I hope the best. I hope he comes in here and he hangs on to the football. He can be a good return guy, and, maybe they only need somebody for the short term. But, the business of the Jacksonville Jaguars has to continue.
Yeah.
Right? And
at least one more week before Duvernay would be available. He got put on IR after the game against the Colts.
Okay, so he's missed 3.
So he's missed 3. Would be at least one more. It was a hamstring injury for him, so who knows when, with those kind of things, he'll be able to get back and ready. But obviously they'd love to have him back now so that they wouldn't have to be playing whatever games they're playing in the return game that out of the injury to Christian Kirk, considering Parker had picked up a bunch of those duties for the football team. So they are doing whatever they feel is necessary to do to protect Parker a little bit and still have someone that can return kicks and punts for him.
All right, now let's go to the phones for the first time today. If you want to weigh in with your reaction to anything particularly bearing down on Jaguar football, but the Cam Robinson thing top of mind, the trade to the Minnesota Vikings, We'll go to Bob in Lake City to start things off on Jaguars today. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Okay, what's up?
Is Balky interviewing for his next job by sending a starting left tackle for a late sixth-round pick? Because the Vikings probably are going to be close to being a playoff team this year. So I'm just wondering, I mean, would it make more sense to lose him in free agency and get a compensatory pick, perhaps in the fourth round or something?
Well, this pick can turn into.
Or am I thinking wrong?
Well, I'm trying to tell you that this pick can turn into a fourth-round pick based on playing time. So basically, if Cam Robinson stays healthy and starts for him the rest of the year, then he's going to provide a fourth-round pick, right, for this team. That's the way I understand it, right? Like the seventh can disappear. The fifth can go to a fourth, and it's based only on playing time. So
I didn't see how much of that playing time would require 25. Like, I doubt it would require any.
I don't think he would. Right, he's not under contract. So,
but yeah, I mean, they're not going to get the same compensatory pick they'd be getting back, like a fourth-round pick. No.
Are you what's Cam's value on the market? If this is the return that you can get, and I get it, not every team has a hole at left tackle right now.
Sure.
But if this is the return you get, a mid to later pick 2 years from now, who knows how robust the free agent market's going to be for Cam. And no matter what Shad Khan says about we've got to build this team through the draft, do you think they won't sign anybody in free agency? I mean, chances are they're going to.
Yeah.
And those offset. So if you lose Cam, let's say somebody signs him $15 million a year contract for 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? And you sign somebody for $15 million for 3 years, you get nothing. They offset each other. So
the Jawan Taylor third-round pick has reawakened the entire Jaguars fan base to the possibility, I think, of compensatory picks. And it's like they got that because they signed nobody. Like, they were not active at all in free agency that offseason. And we all knew they weren't going to be active at all in free agency.
And look, you can say all you like about draft and develop, but if you don't plug holes in free agency, you're not going to be as competitive as you can be generally, right? There are some teams that have had that draft and develop and it's worked for so many years that they do have a better internal structure than Jacksonville does. They're just the way it is, right? Yeah. And there are teams like that with Baltimore who do a great job with that. And then, as you said, they may trade for a player with an expiring contract, get that juice out of that squeeze, and then let him go and try to get something on the back end.
Yeah.
Or I think in their case, they're probably if you could we get a late third, like a pick tacked onto the end of the third round? Possibly. But this is probably going to be a fourth rounder. And that's bird in hand. I don't fault them. Like the idea of hanging on because there's so many things that can alter what the compensation might be that you'd get back at that point in time. So that to me is not a big consideration or a mistake or anything like that.
No, I don't think it's a miscalculation on what you might be getting in a compensatory pick with Cam Robinson. I think doing this deal now with all the other considerations going on right now in the moment for a 2-6 football team, given what happened this weekend with whatever that wound up being between Cam Robinson and the team, getting a fourth-round pick potentially back for him, I have no complaints about that. Right? Like, I have no complaints about that being what you're going to get back.
If this had been done last week, I think we'd just be like, yeah, that's, they see where they're headed and they're still going to try. And I don't think that, the impact on the field might be to some degree. I mean, if Walker Little gives up a key sack that you feel like maybe Cam Robinson wasn't going to, there can be an impact. Yeah. But I think most people think Walker Little is within the range of Cam Robinson's overall ability, that as long as he stays healthy, you're not looking at some kind of devastating situation for this offensive line.
And if you mean Trent Baalke is interviewing for his next job by showing that he's competent to make this kind of trade when he feels it's necessary, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
like, I don't know what else it would tell you about whatever his next job is. Obviously, you're not alone in hoping that he will be looking for another job at some point in the near future. I join you in that.
I wouldn't put a big stack of cash on it, though.
Right, but no, I think he's just the GM of the football team right now and made the right decision for the football team right now and got pretty good compensation, all things considered, for Cam Robinson.
All right, the only question to me is the timing and the circumstances of this weekend. How much did that prompt them to say, you know what, we got to get something done. We're not going to wait until next week. Because, look, if you do wait until next week, maybe you do get one or two more suitors, right? Maybe one or two guys go down. That's a possibility. What else is a possibility is Minnesota looks elsewhere and plugs that hole, maybe not with a player as good as Cam Robinson, but they plug it with somebody because they're not going to wait. They've got to play a game this weekend. And that, even if that player's not as good as Cam, they're like, all right, well, we've already committed ourselves. This is the direction we're going to go. And then there's no market potentially for him. I'm not saying there would or would. We don't know. But there is risk. There's potential benefit, potential risk in waiting right up until the deadline. There's no question about that. All right, if you want to get in, 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. We continue to move along on Jaguars Today. Johnny O from Jaguars.com. John Oehser joins us at the top of hour number 2. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Let's start the debate. Why would someone buy a new car from you? We have an exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new vehicle. We offer a competitive wow price plus free oil changes. How much will someone get for their trade? We offer more than $4,000 over KBV value. Well, we never lose a trade over price. Okay, when is the best time to buy a car? Right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter which side you pick. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, you get it all. Let us show you why we're the winning vote.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Clean air, cool air, both are extremely important. Trust Florida Home AC to deliver on both with their Remy Halo, the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and breathe clean and cool air.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
High-flying Jack O'Brien here, sports fans. And now, I'm going to share the absolute right way to pronounce Kuhn flowers. It's Kuhn. Kuhn flowers. Remember, use Kuhn flowers.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Follow the Canes as they storm the ACC.
I'm 1010XL's JJ LaSelva, and every week I'll bring you the Miami news and notes you need to know.
The Performance Painting Hurricane Report on 1010XL. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Hi, everybody. Mike Dempsey here, reminding you that November is Veterans Month, a time to celebrate and honor the heroes who've served our country. This November, Awaken 180 Weight Loss is showing their appreciation for active duty veterans and spouses by offering 15% off your entire Awaken 180 program, free support for life included. It's a thank you for the sacrifices you've made, protecting our freedoms and making this country what it is. This is special. Awaken 180 has never offered a discount, ever. If this incentive can help turn your focus on you, your health, your goals, and your happiness, I say go for it. Do what I did and choose the solution for weight loss. So if you're active duty, a veteran, or a spouse of one, this month is about you. Celebrate Veterans Month with 15% off your Awaken 180 program, and as with all clients, receive free support for life after reaching your goals. Do what I did, what Hacker did, and what Matt Hayes did, and over 23,000 others have done. Take control at awaken180weightloss.com.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
The Jaguars are facing off against the Minnesota Vikings Sunday, November 10th for the Jags Salute to Service game. See the Shell White alternative helmets in action for the first time and join us in honoring our military all game long. Kickoff is 1 p.m. Don't miss this matchup and lock in your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you at the bank.
Hey, Aiken here for Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code JAX to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, man. Run your game.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645.
Find your why with membership at the First Coast YMCA. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Come try free access to your local Y every Wellness Wednesday this month. Check out our fitness classes, swimming, pickleball, youth sports, and so much more for free every Wednesday in October. Plus, we'll waive the join fee when you become a member this month. Get active, be social, live healthier, and discover all the benefits of YMCA membership at your local Y or visit fcymca.org.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
According to NFL Network and ESPN, the Jaguars have traded left tackle Cam Robinson to the Minnesota Vikings. The Jags are getting back a conditional 2026 fifth-round pick that can become a fourth-round pick based on playing time. Walker Little now takes over as the starter at left tackle. But is he the future? Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser discussed this morning on The Drill.
Anton Harrison may be the left tackle next year.
Perhaps.
You know, so
yeah,
he was a natural left tackle.
Well, so was Walker Little, though, right?
Yeah. I would assume that Anton Harrison is thought of as being a better football player than Walker Little.
I would think so, too.
Right?
I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. You're certainly welcome to voice your opinion. A lot of people doing that on social media. The text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, and you can hop on the phone lines, the Garber Automall phone lines, and do that. And it doesn't have to be Cam Robinson related, but that is our Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, asking for your reaction to that deal that went down yesterday. Let's go to Marcus and Mandarin next up here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Marcus.
Good morning. How are you guys today?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. This isn't Cam Robinson related, but this is Tayshaun Gibson related.
Okay.
Where is he? Why isn't he on the field? Everything that's going on with Andre Cisco and Antonio Johnson, this guy was already reinstated. So why isn't he on the field? Can somebody let me know? And I'll take my comments off the air.
All right, appreciate it. Has he been reinstated?
I wish somebody would let us know why he's not been reinstated.
Right, he hasn't been reinstated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why
we know the suspension that he was handed originally is done.
6 games, but that always is contingent on
whatever
the commissioner basically saying, okay, you're free to return to play.
It's not like the suspension for Cam to start the season last year, right? Where it was he took something he shouldn't have took and he got suspended. And once he got to the end of that, it's done. Right? The deal with Tayshaun Gibson is he got put on the commissioner's exempt list, and it was announced as a 6-game suspension because that's the minimum time he would have to be on that list. I don't know why the commissioner hasn't said, go ahead and play, Tayshaun. I don't know.
And it seemed like the Jags might not have a clear picture of that either.
Right.
You're just kind of waiting. At least they haven't communicated it.
No.
If they are aware of the
If they know, they haven't said. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, look, I think they're waiting, and I don't think they're holding him back. I think they're waiting to see, and then we'll see where he fits in the mix. And where's Andrew Wingard at that point? And
sure.
And I think a lot of options are on the table. There shouldn't be many sacred cows with this football team.
No.
Right? I mean, look, there's some guys, no matter if they're struggling or not, you're going to stick with them because you're committed to them being your guy. Like, Josh Hines-Allen may not have a tremendous sack total. No question Josh Hines-Allen is, in their mind, and should be in everybody's mind, in my opinion, a key part of their future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Andre Sisco's in the last year of his deal. If you got offered a 4th-round pick for Andre Sisco.
Holy cow, how quick.
So there you go, right? Like, again, he's not protected. He's not, he doesn't have the protection of a brand-new long-term extension. And those guys, whether it's fair or not, they get more time to prove their worth, sink or swim, whatever the
No
case
doubt.
may be, whatever cliche you want me to throw out there. But it's a fair question. We just, we're waiting. It's not like he's available to them and they're holding him back.
No.
So,
yeah.
Dylan, if you'd be so kind.
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take, brought to you by
Double checked. Cybersecurity made simple.
All right, Doug Peterson at the podium right now speaking to the assembled media, so we'll let you know what he has to say. Mia O'Brien passing along that he said he feels great about left tackle Walker Little. He's worn a lot of hats for us. Great opportunity for him to embrace. What position is he was asked. I think he's a tackle. Let's just say that. Okay, does that mean we might see Anton Harrison starting at left tackle, Tony? I don't know what that is. But the point of today's 10-10 take is more about the Cam Robinson deal to me. Again, putting aside any of the attitude he may have towards Walker Little getting an opportunity ahead of him or whatever, if you just told me that they're trading Cam Robinson off here midseason because he's the one, if they had traded Walker Little, I would have been equally fine with it. Because neither one of them's under contract for the long term. And if you really think Walker Little's your long term, you probably would have been starting over Cam much sooner. He only got in because of the concussion. So you kept rolling Cam out there ahead of him. You kept signaling Cam Robinson's the better player over and over and over again. And for people saying, maybe Walker Little would have been a little bit more inexpensive. Who's to say? Maybe he plays great the rest of the year. And they do give him some kind of a contract extension. I don't know. I'm not saying that's off the table. I'm just saying, the compensation to me is fine for a 2-6 team. He's a starting tackle. Yeah, but he's under contract only for the remaining 9 games of the season for Minnesota. So what is a 9-game rental worth to you? For them, it was worthy of that 4th-round pick. Maybe they'll be maybe they let him walk in free agency, and maybe somebody does sign him to a big contract extension because Christian Darrisaw presumably will be coming back in Minnesota next year, and maybe they'll reap the benefit of getting that compensatory pick. But I'm not upset with the compensation. I think it's a worthwhile move at this point. I'd rather get something for him than nothing for him. And, could that come back to haunt the Jags if Walker Little or Anton Harrison go out for an extended period of time? Yeah, it might. But to the point where I think it's going to impact the Jags' ability to make the playoffs or not? No, because I don't think they are going to make the playoffs regardless. Cam on the roster, Cam not on the roster. That's just kind of where they're at right now. And this is the kind of move a team that realizes where they stand makes. It doesn't cripple them. They still do have what we feel is a close proximity, replacement in Walker Little. So let's see. I hope he plays well. And it's interesting that Doug Peterson referred to him as a tackle, and let's leave it at that kind of thing. So that definitely opens the door for
we'll see what they're doing with that.
For flipping sides here and getting a look, Tony. Why wouldn't you want to get a look, though, right? Anton Harrison is much more important to the future of this organization than Walker Little is.
It's an odd situation in my mind. I'm not saying that Anton couldn't potentially be the long-term plan at left tackle, and I wouldn't have a big problem if that's the direction they wind up going with it. I've seen Walker Little play right tackle, and he's way better as a left tackle than he is a right tackle. He just is. He's a better left tackle than he is a right tackle. I'm not sure with how the team is currently constituted, if the team's not better with Walker at left and Anton at right.
They may be.
Right, but the long-term ramifications of, Anton's our plan, right? Like next year we know he's going to be the left tackle. That's what we're banking on, is he's going to be the left tackle. If they do it now to play a player at a position that I think he's a little bit worse at than he would be the left tackle. I'm okay with it for a 2-6 football team if that's the calculation they make with those two positions. But certainly the coach saying it the way he said it just a few minutes ago leaves the door wide open for that possibility.
That's right. The way Doug Peterson chose to express that.
And makes it
open.
You know, we talked about it last week with one of our questions of the day. Like, which of these guys that is slated to be a free agent is most likely to return? And when we had Walker and Cam, you know, both on that poll, and I said it at the time, I think Walker is the least likely to wind up back here because I don't think he likes the way he's been treated, right? As far as his playing time in Jacksonville, whether the team is actually wrong for not having, quote, given him the job at left tackle or not to this point, I don't think they're necessarily wrong for having done it. But I think Walker Little looks at himself as a left tackle. I have no problem with him looking at himself that way because I've seen him play both, and he's better as a left tackle than he is a right tackle. And I think if they tell him, yeah, Cam is gone, we're playing you at right tackle for the back half of the year, I'm not saying it's the wrong decision from a team perspective even, but if you have any ideas right now in this moment, this is an opportunity for Walker Little to earn another deal from the team. I think them doing that, that's done. In my mind, that's done.
But here's the difference. Walker Little will do it.
He'll do it.
He's not going to get up at the podium and go, I'm a left tackle only. He's going to do it, right? And he may not be happy about it, and I can understand that. Like there is a balance, right? You want to look out for your interests, but you also, like, in the moment, you got to do what's good for the football team. And if you get called upon to go in there, I mean, somebody said yesterday, if it's true that Cam Robinson did not want to play because he wasn't starting, he quit on Doug Peterson, that's a problem. No, he didn't. He quit on his team. He quit on his teammates, if that's the case. And I'm telling you, again, I didn't witness it firsthand, but I've been told by multiple people that this is what's happened. So if that, in fact, is the case, then you can't have that. I mean, that infects your locker room. Who's the next guy that's going to come along and say that, I want it this way. It's got to be my way. Let's see. Here we go. Cole Van Lannon will be the Jags swing tackle moving forward, as expected. This, again, according to Mia O'Brien, who is at the Doug Peterson presser right now. This is just coming down. Brian Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis, Brandon Sheriff are all day-to-day, according to Doug Peterson, which Brian Thomas Jr., the most important of that trio by a large stretch. And then I would say Brandon Sheriff easily in the number 2 spot.
Yeah, they're
right there.
Really thin at some spots.
We're going to find, hey, Gabe, step up.
Yeah.
Right? Gave you a decent contract. Hey, Gabe Davis is a mystery to me. He was a solid player. Not a, future all-pro, but not this.
No.
Not the struggle bus rider that he has been all season long with the Jacksonville Jaguars for the most part. I mean, he's had his moments, but they've been few and far between. So anyway, that's I take that as good news on the Brian Thomas Jr. front and would expect him to play this week.
Well, the Gabe Davis thing is he's had an opportunity to be in the middle of probably the biggest season of his career to this point, right? Like he's had enough passes hit his hands in the end zone to this point, 8 games into the year, that he could be in the middle of his biggest season as a pro, but he's not. Right, and that's all on him. It's not on Trevor's not accurate enough. Trevor's not throwing it to him enough. They're not looking for him in key moments. They've been looking for Gabe, right, to show up in some of these moments over and over and over again. He's not come through. I didn't expect Gabe Davis to necessarily take off because he came to Jacksonville instead of being in Buffalo, but I never could have anticipated it being what it's been to this point for Gabe Davis in a Jaguars uniform, and it's all on him. It's not on anybody but Gabe Davis. Just catch the ball.
Right. Like if I saw somebody comparing him to Dante Moncrief the other day. Remember that boondoggle, right? Difference is Gabe Davis had like 4 years of solid production.
You had
reason to think that this guy's a pretty solid player. Yeah. And maybe he's just in his own head at this point. I don't know. But anyway,
he needs to get out of it. They need him.
That's not my major takeaway from that injury update. It's that BTJ hopefully is on track.
They need him.
Just such a difference maker for that. Continuing to see metrics out there. I think it might have been PFF. Trevor Lawrence on passes 20 yards plus down the field. You have to have attempted a certain amount. And Brian Thomas Jr. on opportunities that far down the field, again, have to have a certain amount of targets. are tops in the league in terms of being deep ball thrower and playmaker. And it's not surprising. I mean, almost every time they take a shot to BTJ, almost every time. Not every time. Something good happens. More often than not, something good happens. Pass interference, or my man makes a hell of a play, or Trevor drops a dime on him, and they both make a hell of a play on the deal. Yeah, there have been some misfires as well, but this guy is a talent at that position that you could absolutely see, I could at least, being considered a top 10 to 15 wide receiver in the NFL. I'm not talking fantasy numbers. I'm talking about impact on game day where defensive coordinators go, oh, hell, what are we going to do to slow this guy down today? How much do we need to commit to him?
And we're seeing teams react to him. You know, it's week to week. Teams are having to react to Brian Thomas Jr. And we saw in the preseason when you heard players with Tampa coming out of those inter-squad practices that were saying, we don't know how to deal with that guy. Right? At practice, right? This is a rookie in his first couple weeks being on an NFL field in any capacity, and there were already opponents that were going, uh-oh, right? They're just having to deal with Brian Thomas Jr., and it's shown up on the field. You know, it showed up immediately. He did it to Jalen week 1, right? Like, this is not like it was, we got to wait to see what's going to happen. It's here. And next year, what you'll have is Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. have now played together for a year. Right, and you get the benefits of that on top of what they're already doing right now. It's as bright as it could possibly be, the future between those two guys right now.
Let's try to focus occasionally on some of the positives, because there are a few. I mean, look, not trying to pretend that they're not 2-6. They are. That's who they are as a football team. But Trevor Lawrence's last month overall, and again, that doesn't mean when he makes some critical mistakes, we're not going to talk about them.
No,
again, we talked about this week, this idea that I feel, and maybe it's just a feeling, because you react to the people that are speaking up.
Yeah.
But the people on the extremes, either Trevor is most of the problem or Trevor is above reproach. And for some, it feels like there's no middle ground. How dare you? We finally have a good quarterback. How dare you say it's on him? Well, comes with the territory.
The things that are on him, we'll say are on him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not everything's on him.
Yeah.
But he's, and it doesn't mean he's the biggest issue. Yes, he also gives them the greatest chance to win. But, it's great. The comeback, don't dig the hole to begin with. And you don't have to climb out of it. All right. John Oehser going to join us coming up next, senior writer from Jaguars.com. Plenty of time for you to get in the second hour of the program today at 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Take your shot at a weekly tailgate combo pack valued at $100 from Southern Steer Butcher.
And monthly winners get a Corona tailgate tent with a cooler, chair, and collectible football.
It's the ultimate tailgate. Enter now at 1010XL.com.
I love fall weather. The crisp air, the falling leaves, until someone in my family catches a chill outside. Luckily, Kohl's has deals on all things cozy. I got 20% off comfy layers and warm denim, $10 off because I spent over $50, and earned Kohl's cash. Now we're ready to bundle up and get back out there, thanks to Kohl's. Select styles. Offers end November 3rd. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Fall in Florida. The leaves may not be coming down,
But the prices are at Beard's Diamonds.
It's the buy one, get one on wedding band sale.
All stackables, all right-hand rings, all eternity bands, and more are buy one, get one free.
At the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows in $2.95.
Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to come out and experience one of the most beautiful and unique golf courses in North Florida. Affordable golf, friendly service, and great times in the Hills Grill after play. Book your tee time, hiddenhillsgc.com.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on Jaguars Today. Awaken 180 Weight Loss, your long-term solution for weight loss.
There are 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and if you stay in your home long enough, a new roof. Pick it here for our friends at Lockhart Roofing. Nobody better in Jacksonville Jacksonville. How do I know? They are a local certified Master Elite contractor, and that means they have a GAF Master Elite warranty. That's the best in the roofing industry. In this day and age, don't settle for cheaper discount roofers. Lockhart Roofing has been here for decades. They aren't going anywhere. Call my friends at Lockhart Roofing, 994-3851. That's 994-3851. Lockhart Roofing, Jacksonville's best for Jacksonville people.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation, light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
If you're like most Americans, you have a ton of credit card debt and you're paying insane interest rates on that debt every month. Same for car loans and personal loans. Stop getting ripped off. Let Loan Pronto consolidate that debt for you at a significantly lower rate using the equity in your home. Hey, it's Prosser here, and Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line of Credit can get you up to $500,000. So you can consolidate your debt in as fast as 5 days. Their average client saves over $1,000 every month by doing this. Right now is the best time to act. With an Express Equity Line of Credit, you can access up to 90% of your home's equity, usually without an appraisal. Don't put it off. Get your financial house in order for the new year and call Loan Pronto now to see what you can save. It's a free quote and there's no credit pull, unlike the other guys. Call now, 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe. I want to talk to you about picking the right battles to fight in this life. Every day, we have opportunities to get upset and angry. But I want you to realize that sometimes you have to ignore in this life so that you can soar into the kingdom of heaven. My encouragement, friends, to you is to pick the right battles to fight. Fight only battles that help you draw closer to God, because you have to ignore so that you can soar.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Meet Dennis, talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
My first treatment, I actually felt a great improvement. It actually allowed me to dress myself by increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I did physical therapy for approximately 8 weeks, and it did not help in increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I've told many people about the results that I had. I thought it was incredible. I'm very active. I do play a lot of golf, I fish a lot, I hunt, I bowl, and it just made it a lot easier with less pain. The pain was more manageable, yes. I don't take medications.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit gobiotarget.com today.
Jacksonville, are you ready? The college basketball season is tipping off with an epic in-state showdown. The Florida Gators and South Florida Bulls go head-to-head in the Jacksonville Sports Foundation Invitational. Be there Monday, November 4th at Veterans Memorial Arena and witness this in-state rivalry live. Secure your seats now at Ticketmaster.com. It's Florida versus South Florida to start the college basketball season on November 4th in Jacksonville. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local authorized technology partner and home to Xerox copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Georgia quarterback Carson Beck, whose season has been inconsistent, returns home to Jacksonville and will once again look to lead the Dogs over the Gators with the full confidence of head coach Kirby Smart.
He hasn't played perfect, but nobody does. So I'm very comfortable with where Carson is in terms of his leadership, practice habits, the things we're asking him to do. I think he's doing a good job there.
Paul Feinbaum of ESPN and the SEC Network commented on the unusual nature of this year's Florida-Georgia game.
That the real schedule is
is beginning Saturday. Florida-Georgia game, always huge, always important. Just feels a little weird this year.
Gator Bowl Charities, in partnership with AT&T and the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl, distributed 100 refurbished laptops to students in need across the First Coast at an event at Everbank Stadium last month. At your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10:59, it's 79 degrees. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Oehser. Oh no.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, salt and pepper. Johnny O. Because he reminds me of old school hip hop. So much.
I'm straight out of Compton.
Are you? Is that where you're from? I didn't realize that's where your roots came. I thought you were straight out of Indy. But I guess you're straight out of Jacksonville by way of Indy. Straight out of Arlington.
Straight out of 1970s Arlington.
All right. We love it. Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Yeah? Were you at Doug's presser this morning?
I was not. I was there right beforehand, but to get over here, I listened to it on the way over.
Okay. Anything stand out to you from what he had to say this morning?
Not much. Since the trade's not official, he couldn't say very much about that. It's not official until 4, so they're sort of under some constraints. Talked a little bit about next man up.
What would stand in the way of it being official? Just failing a physical?
The transaction just not reported to the league.
It's not official yet, right?
Yeah.
But there's no reason to think there's
no,
anything other than.
I have no reason to think it's not going to happen. It's just when it's turned into the league office and paperwork turns over,
sure.
The day turns into the next is when it technically becomes official. But no, I don't anticipate anything changing or him being back. I'm just saying that in terms of us being able to say anything as a team, they don't say anything until official's official.
What do you make of Doug being asked, is Walker Little your left tackle? And he said, he's a tackle. Let's leave it at that.
Oh, I think that leaves the door open for Anton to play left, which is something you've always heard is a possibility. And I think at some point you figure out if he can be your left tackle.
If that's your long-term vision, right?
I hadn't given that a whole lot of thought in terms of having right now because it just felt like plug and play. But sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, and most people...
I would do that. I mean, to find out.
Then would you put... Because Walker Little, most people feel is maybe significantly better suited to the left side than the right side. Even though he has a reputation of being a better run blocker than a pass blocker, that doesn't quite make a whole lot of sense. Do you think it would be... If they do want to get a look at Anton on the left side, do you think it's definitely Walker Little, or could they go and say, hey, let's find out maybe with Cole Van Lanen, what we've got in this guy. He's their swing tackle, and Doug announced that's what he'll be. But do you think there might be a chance at some point? I mean,
at some point, yes. I don't know if you. I mean,
not immediately.
Again, I'm not even sure if you do the Anton thing.
Sure.
Immediately, because if you're still, if your hope is still to go get back in it, then you would think Anton comfortable at right. Walker Little probably more comfortable liking left more would make sense until you figure, okay, we're out of this thing. Now we got to figure out what the future is.
Let's hear a few answers from Doug Peterson. Dylan got these ready for us here. Here's was asked about, is Walker Little playing at left tackle moving forward?
Feel great about him. Obviously, he's been here. He's worn a lot of hats for us. He's played inside, he's played outside, he's played both tackle spots. I think after the first little bit of the game, he's really settled in, did some nice things, and got a lot of confidence moving forward.
And some has been made, right? Like, there's a perception. Walker Little's not going to want to resign here because he doesn't like how he was used. He doesn't like, the fact that he had to play guard, whatever. But he's been willing to do it.
Sure.
Right? And, my feel on that is, well, if you want to be left tackle, go beat out the left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And
I have a chance to do that.
Right. I don't know if I feel like, do you feel like there was a fair shot? Like it was ever an open competition, or did they always look at Cam as he's our left tackle? Let's get Walker Little as good as we can get him, but in their mind
I don't think
really
it was
a
ever
competition.
particularly open because I think, on a average over time, I think the consensus was that Cam Robinson. I was about to say Cam Little.
I know you were, and that's confusing.
That would be
because that guy
I'm
exists.
not saying he can't play left tackle. I'm saying I would click on that.
I'd prefer Cole Van Lanen or Blake Hance.
So I think over time, most weeks, most games, the consensus was that Cam Robinson was your left tackle. So was there intense competition? No, because he was your starting left tackle. So were there games where Walker probably at a high level played better than Cam did at times at left tackle? Yeah, probably. But I never got the feeling there was competition because I'm not sure anybody thought there should have been.
Did you feel that, like, before we go back to Doug's comments here, like going into this week, Doug obviously made up his mind he was going to go with Walker Little at left tackle, right? And you're up until the moment Cam got hurt, he was your left tackle.
Yeah, I think that was a situation where you're the left tackle until you're not. And then I think at that point it was, okay, it's time to do this. It's time to look at Walker at that situation. The only thing that didn't add up was what we talked about during the break. He had said you don't lose your job due to injury, and then now Cam gets injured and loses his job due to injury.
Seems like, right?
So my thought is there's probably more to all season. I would guess there had been, is it time to look at Walker?
Trending towards an opportunity.
And so now it's time to look at Walker.
Gotcha.
Coach Peterson this morning was also asked about what this opportunity for Walker Little could mean for his playing future, not only here in Jacksonville. Obviously, Walker Little is a player that's scheduled to hit free agency this offseason as well.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of season left, but I think it's a great opportunity for him, to embrace. I think it'd be a great question to ask him and see how he feels. But for me, it'd be just a great opportunity, and see where it goes from there.
All right, and well, that was the follow-up on that. What is he, right? Is he a left tackle for your football team?
About 6'6", 315. I think he's a tackle. I think he's a tackle. I think he's a tackle. Let's just say that.
All right. Look, and he can answer any way he likes, right? But that's why we're even entertaining the possibility of sometimes seeing Anton Harrison on that left side. Because you could easily come out and say, no, I understand the question. Moving forward, we think the best fit for the rest of the season, if everyone stays healthy, Walker's our left tackle, Anton's our right tackle.
It feels so week to week right now, like Cam just left the building yesterday. So there's still, whenever his last day in the building was, but the trade just happened yesterday. So I think there's very much there's always been, you have Anton Harrison at right tackle, but a thought that at some point in his career, he can play left tackle and could be the left tackle of the future. So probably just doesn't want to close the door on that and have people come back and say in a week, well, you said he was automatically a left tackle. So I think that's going to be interesting to watch. I don't know how that plays out.
Coach, this morning, along those kind of lines, look, we've seen Walker Little play guard, right, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you just heard Coach talking about him being a tackle for the football team at this point, not specifically left or right, but a tackle for the football team. And Coach was asked, why is tackle the better position for Walker Little?
One, I think he's more comfortable out there. I think that the space element of playing tackle is one thing. Guards, or you don't have to necessarily move as far, and there's a lot more bodies around you. And two, honestly, his size is it's good for a guard, but I think it better suits him, personally as a tackle.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really, disputes that. That's what they thought. They thought they were getting, I think, a future starting tackle when they drafted him in the second round, or else you don't draft him in the second round.
And he didn't play as well at guard last year as he had played at tackle. But I think now, it's always been sort of a not sure with Walker Little. Like he had 5 good games at the end of 22. Mm-hmm. When he played last year, it was sort of up and down. At the same time of all that up and down, there were some injuries, so you weren't sure if the up and down was because of injuries or not. So I think a lot of the unknown can go away in the next 8 or 9 weeks. We'll find out exactly what he is. And I don't think it would be off the table at all for him to re-sign, because you can get really happy if there's good money involved.
Look, I have. You can, right? That can smooth a lot of
Makes
things
me
over.
happy a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know nothing
You'd
about
play
it,
left tackle.
but I would assume it would make me happy.
Yeah, right. In the abstract, we think that could be the case. So, look, after they traded Roy Robertson-Harris, I'm paraphrasing here. Doug Peterson said things to the effect of, don't expect this to be a trend, right? Then opportunity arose. They had some depth there. And then, granted, they have some depth. And I don't fault the move. You're 2-6.
Right.
And you got 2 tackles that you think are capable, and neither one of them is signed beyond this season, right? So I totally don't fault the move. But at the same time, you gave that indication. And maybe it was just like to say, hey, we think we're still in this mix. And the loss to Green Bay, maybe reality sinks in. Do you think Christian Kirk was a viable trade? Like, if teams came with a solid offer, you don't think they would have traded Christian?
Just because I don't think that they have given up on him as a guy even going forward. I know it's a high cap number, but Trevor really leans on him. He's been productive. Now the question with Christian now becomes, a couple seasons in a row now hasn't finished health-wise, so that's going to be attached to him rightly or wrongly. But I don't think he'd have been traded.
Do you think his absence negatively impacted the home stretch last year when the Jags were losing 5 out of 6? So
maybe outside of Trevor's injury is probably the biggest impact.
So what kind of are you anticipating? Again, there's a void to be filled. No, I understand that. But I feel like Parker Washington is an emerging player.
I think it's a huge thing to watch. I don't know the answer to the question. I wish I did. Can Parker be as much of a comfort for Trevor?
Safety blanket?
Well, when I say comfort, how many times this year has the offense been stagnant and a 20-yard pass to Christian has sort of gotten them going? A couple times. Trevor sort of leans on that, trusts him. Can Parker get to that point? He's flashed. I think he can, but there's some veteran stuff, some reliability stuff there that Christian brings. It's really important that I thought it really brought him down at the end of last year.
Travis Etienne, is he a guy? Now he's got the 5th-year option
I don't think he'll be
for
traded.
next year.
It's his cap hit for next year isn't huge, and I think they envision in this offense, assuming it's this offense going forward, which right now you can't assume anything. 2 good backs historically in this offense. Think about what Doug ran in Philly. A lot of good backs coming in and out. I think they see both of them as viable. I'd be surprised if Travis gets traded.
All right. John Oehser here with us. If you've got a comment or question related to the Jags, particularly on the Cam Robinson front, that's our Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. What is your reaction to that deal going down? As John pointed out, it'll be official at 4 o'clock today. We'd love to hear from you at 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. Hit us up in the YouTube virtual studio chat. You can do that, as well as the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, also at 641-1010. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, John Oehser, and Dylan Denmark here with you. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. We here at 1010XL, myself, Matt Hayes, Hacker. Well, a lot of it's been Hacker, but we're probably up over 160 pounds plus down since we all got on the train of Awaken 180. And that train is chugging along down the tracks with over 21,000 customers. They have over 98% satisfaction rating. It's because they deliver on their promises, right? They promise that you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose it rapidly. You're going to lose it safely. And the big key, the kicker, you're going to be able to maintain that weight loss for a long, long time as long as you follow the prescribed methods of Awaken 180. And the methods are simply just thinking about eating in a different way. You eat to lose weight. No medications, no rigorous exercise regime. There's no exercise required with Awaken 180. Eat to lose weight. Turn your body into a fat-burning machine. And the three of us here at 1010XL are living examples of that. You could be the next success story. Call 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180 or schedule your free consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. He's mastered the art of incognito.
Charming, sophisticated secret agent.
Hayes Carline takes you behind enemy lines 5 hours before kickoff on 1010XL. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
You've got so many chances to win big on Hard Rock Bet. Even a small bet can bring in that serious cash. All you need is $1 and a dream.
Unbelievable. They've hit the parlay. Let's go!
Big payouts for every kind of player.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Grab your lucky spot on the couch, because traditions make Sunday easy to enjoy. Bud Light, easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's a Weight Loss Wednesday on 1010XL. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
Do you feel a ghastly presence in your septic tank this Halloween? A septic emergency is spookier than a haunted house. But fear not. Duck Duck Rooter is here to rescue you from the depths of septic despair.
I'm Vlad, the Valiant Septic Tech, ready to cast out the demons from your septic system. If your toilet's acting possessed or your pipes are stirring up a witch's brew, we got the magic wand to fix it all.
Call Duck Duck Rooter at 904-862-6769 to schedule your septic tank pumping today. Everyone who puts on a high school football uniform dreams of Friday Night Glory.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, Friday Night Lights.
Join Hacker and Andrew Gibson, presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
What is the only city to host both the Summer and Winter Olympics? The answer next.
Does your homeowner's insurance company contact you before, during, or after a big storm? If not, then it's time for you to contact Southern Oak Insurance. Find us online at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Beijing is the only city that has hosted both the Summer and the Winter Olympics.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours. If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, John Oehser here with you. We'll probably bring you a few more thoughts from Doug Peterson, who said he feels good that Travis Etienne Jr. will be back this week. Ronald Darby is going to practice today. And on Oehser Cleveland dealing with the ankle issue, we'll see how he is end of the week. That doesn't sound super promising.
Sounds like a good dose of Cooper Hodges, which is fine. I mean, meaning I'd like to see Cooper Hodges play a little bit. Nothing wrong with Oehser Cleveland, but at some point, let's see Cooper Hodges.
Right, I think most people would look at Oehser Cleveland and say he's been pretty solid this year, Tone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I don't think he's an issue, but you do want to find out. Like, it's not
right.
Like,
I'd rather have him playing for Sheriff because I think that's going to be
the
where
move.
he plays.
Right? But he needs to play.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
He hasn't played much NFL football. Here's Doug Peterson being asked, Dylan, set this up. What was the question? Why didn't Cam start this week over
Why
Walker?
did he not play against the Packers?
Why did he not play? All right, here's what Doug Peterson said just a little while ago.
Well, if you remember, he was in the protocol, all week, and then Walker took all the plays, all the snaps during the week, and so we felt best for the 5 offensive linemen and really the 8 who were going to dress that for that game. Once Cam got cleared, that he would go in as the backup tackle.
And then for special teams as well, he didn't play on field goal block or
correct.
Anything.
Yeah.
Was that planned as well, the same sort of situation?
Yeah, it was all part of the plan.
All right, so that's Demetrius Harvey at Florida Times Union asking Doug Peterson about that. And basically, Cam didn't play at all, but yet he was active. Like, there's a little bit of a disconnect for me, right? Like, I get that if you're not going to, if the things go well, you're not going to play if you're a backup offensive lineman. But at the same time, like Cam did the week before, anybody can go down on the first play of the game or very early in the game, and then you've got to play. So was he physically prepared to play him?
Yeah, I think what Doug was trying to say was he didn't practice during the week, so Walker was the better option because he had practiced during the week. I think that's what his point was.
That's what he was saying. I think they had made this decision by Friday. I'm pretty sure that they knew which way they were going. This isn't so much about like that. That's not unreasonable, I don't think, to say, okay, for this week, Walker's got a little lather going. We'll run him out there. Maybe we'll see how he does. And if he does well, then maybe we'll continue in that direction. But whatever. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to make that decision long term. I think this is more about Cam's reaction to it. Was told by a couple of people that Doug didn't tell him. He's not the one who told him, that he delegated that to pass that news on to Phil Rauscher to pass that on.
John, from a team perspective, if they have any idea that Cam's response to the whole thing is going to be, then I'm just not going to play today. Like, if that's the way he's going to handle it, then why is he active and Cole Van Lannon isn't last weekend? I don't know what would have happened if Walker Little had something happen and he couldn't go. I don't know exactly what that would have looked like in game, what the situation would be with the way that it appeared Cam Robinson was willing to handle it.
Right.
And with all that being said, why is he active? Like, at what point does it get communicated and become clear to anybody he really just kind of doesn't want to play today, if that's the situation that he's going to be in as not starting? It's the whole thing is odd. I don't know what
I don't
happened.
know if that's the case, so I don't.
Right.
I just don't know.
That's why he's not here. I mean, I think it's an impetus for them to get him out. The way everything got handled this weekend, I certainly think is a big push to, all right, he's got to go.
That's what it seems like. And again, had none of that happened and they deal Cam Robinson, then I think we look and say that's the move a 2-6 team makes, right? With 2 tackles.
Yeah, I think it's a move a 2-6 team makes anyway. So
maybe, but
again, I don't know if Cam told them he wasn't going to play. I haven't heard that, so I don't know I can't speculate on whether they reacted to that because I hadn't heard that. So,
well, Logs didn't say it yesterday, but we were going around this subject. He said when he saw him out there, socks pushed down, not taped up, like in pregame warm-up. Like, you're not taped up, you're not ready to go. Like if something happens, stood apart from his offensive line group.
He did stand apart from the offensive line group.
There's kind of, and again, it's more like at this point, it's more interesting to me than anything else.
Yeah.
Because again, if they make this move in a vacuum, it's one thing, and we say, okay, understand it. But we also had Doug Peterson a couple weeks ago saying, I don't anticipate any. This is not a fire sale. We're not doing this.
Right.
Well, this is a move that's kind of walking up to the fire sale line.
If the sign's not out, you're probably putting in magic marker.
Yes. So, all right. Well,
so we'll see.
We'll see what else is happening around the rest of the National Football League.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
The Indianapolis Colts have announced that they are sending quarterback Anthony Richardson to the bench and will be starting Joe Flacco up there for the Colts. Houston Texans wide receiver Stephon Diggs, well, they finally know exactly what happened with him, and it's not good news. He'll miss the rest of the 2024 season with a torn ACL. The Baltimore Ravens are trading a fifth-round pick to Carolina in exchange for wide receiver Deontay Johnson and a sixth-round pick coming back in return. And New York Giants running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. has been placed in the league's concussion protocol. So his availability for this week obviously up in the air.
No doubt. Man, on the one hand, I get the Anthony Richardson thing looks horrible, but he's not like the typical quarterback who's just standing back there in the pocket, turning around, handing it off. He does, like, when a running back runs zigzagging all over the field in back-to-back plays and he taps out, you're like, I understand that, right? You got winded, and
it makes you wonder if it's as much about the tapping out as it is just some of the struggles.
Right. And that on top of it, like, I get it. Like, every football player, former football player that you hear from right now is aghast at how can you do that? How can you tap out and let your team down? You quit on them, whatever. I think it's a little over the top on it, but it's not our issue to deal with. Maybe we feel differently.
Quarterback stuff is always over the top.
It is. It is.
And a quarterback tapping himself out of a game, we've never seen it.
The bottom line is, as a Jaguar fan, the Colts are at 4-4, but like, they just spent the number 4 overall pick on this guy a year ago. Right. He started like 8 games or something like that, 10 games, whatever, and he may be done.
It's stunningly quick, but at the same time, that was the inherent risk of taking him. Is you didn't know if the accuracy, you sort of knew logically that it was going to take some games, some 16, 32.
They'd almost be better off if they were 2-6 right now.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you could say, look, we got to power through this. Right? We drafted him knowing he's got to get acclimated to playing in the NFL. The only way to do that is to play.
Right.
And now it's like you're looking at the veterans in that locker room. Flacco goes in there. He's slinging it all over the place. I'm sure the receivers are happy, whether they're expressing that or not.
No doubt.
Because their numbers were consistently better with Flacco. Josh Downs had a good game. Michael Pittman Jr. has been a complete nothing with Anthony Richardson.
But now you play Flacco the rest of the year, and now you go into next year's training camp, and what is Anthony Richardson? Is he developing?
Is Flacco back? He's only on a 1-year deal.
Right. So
right. So
it's a weird spot.
Or do they lose 3 out of the next 4 and go back to Anthony Richardson? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, that's what I would do if I'm them.
Seesawing.
Sure, but I mean,
you got to do it.
But, you got to get a look. It's like, do we want to get an extended look at Walker Little at left tackle? I'm not saying this is the only reason a deal like this goes down. When teams are at this position, yes, you're trying to win games.
Right.
But at the same time, there's a balance.
You got to operate with an eye on the future.
Eye on the future. Exactly right. Johnny O, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We'll come back. Final segment. We'll go through some of your social media responses to our question of the day, which just asked you for your reaction to Cam Robinson being traded from the Jacksonville Jaguars to the Minnesota Vikings. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here. You know, it gets warm. It's supposed to be in the mid-80s today, right? We're almost into the month of November. Well, if your AC goes out, man, you know you need help now. Like right now, like Lickety Split. Call Lickety Split. It's right there in the name. Get same-day emergency service for your AC, your home's plumbing and electrical. They'll handle that too. Premium solutions that you can trust from a local family-owned and operated business that services all of Northeast Florida, Jacksonville, Oakley, St. Augustine, Orange Park, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, on and on and on. For quality and care, call the hair. That's Lickety Split. Online at licketysplitfl.com.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
October's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Ackerman Cancer Center offers women's health, diagnostic, and screening services, including contract-enhanced mammography and total body MRI. Early detection is the key. Visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Southampton invites you to enjoy a round of golf and then a round with your buds, thanks to their game day special. Every Saturday and Sunday during the season, order up 10 wings and a cold pitcher for just $22. Plus, being a member at Southampton has its privileges, like a $500 gift card when you join with a paid initiation fee. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Twilight Golf every day with special rates after 3 o'clock. Don't forget trivia Thursday nights and music on the patio Friday night. All at the Golf Club of Southampton.
It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss Wednesday
on Jaguars Today.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. If I know anything about the fall, it's hunting season, it's cooler weather. People need to get off-road. What have you got to offer?
We've got the full line of Honda ATVs, the Foreman, the Rancher. We've got the side-by-sides, the Pioneers, the Talons, everything you need to get off-road.
And you can trick them out with all sorts of extras?
If you name it, you want the loud stereo, you want the cool light bar, we got it.
All right, look online, cyclesofjacksonville.com, or head to the showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show.
With tips and stories.
Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood. Underwood has completed 75 years in business, and now you are starting your next 75 years. If you were going to simplify things, what is the single most important thing in Underwood's history, and what will be the most important thing in your future?
Frank, that's simple. Our honesty and integrity. You know, our founder, H.F. Underwood's favorite saying was, know the truth and tell the truth. That's why we're the longest-standing member of the American Gem Society in Florida. Because we know you have to have the knowledge about gemstones before you can tell the truth about them. That's why we continue to educate our staff through the Gemological Institute of America and the American Gem Society. In fact, today, Underwood's has the largest American Gem Society credentialed staff of professionals east of the Mississippi River. So come by and see why we're looking forward to the next 75 years and let one of our experts assist you.
That's at Underwood's, serving excellence since 1928. In San Marco, Avondale, the shops of Ponte Vedra, Underwood Jewelers.
This is Hayes Carline for Kingfish Pest Control. Are you tired of spiders, ants, roaches, or other pests invading your home turf? Call the winning team at Kingfish Pest Control. I can tell you from my own experience, Kingfish will sack mosquitoes, tackle rodents, and intercept termites before they can blitz into your home. And right now, score 20% off your new pest control service when you start during the 2024 football season. Save big and defend your home with Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Cyber threats don't take time outs. Protect your business with DoubleCheck Cybersecurity's AI-powered solutions. Get 24/7 defense and stop hackers before they score. Don't wait. Visit doublecheck.com to schedule your free security consultation today.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
The Jaguars announced multiple roster moves on Tuesday afternoon. Offensive lineman Blake Hance has been signed from the practice squad to the 53-man roster. Wide receiver Velus Jones Jr. has been signed to the Jaguars practice squad. And the Jags have released running back Jake Funk from the practice squad. Hance is a familiar name to Jacksonville, playing in 26 games with the Jaguars over 2 seasons. Velus Jones Jr. was drafted by the Bears in the 3rd round of the 2022 NFL Draft out of Tennessee. Jones was waived by Chicago on Friday. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, we are cooling down as the trading season heats up around the National Football League. Jags make their second move where they ship off a veteran for future draft pick compensation with Cam Robinson out the door. Official at 4 o'clock today, following in the footsteps of Roy Robertson Harris going to Seattle. Somebody made a point saying, Minnesota's the only team Balky can trade with. All the other GMs hate him. As if you know what every GM thinks about Trent Baalke. By the way, you can dislike Trent Baalke if there's an offer of a player that you think can help you.
Right.
You're going to make the deal. Trent Baalke, by the way, in the last couple of drafts, he traded with Minnesota. He also traded with Buffalo, traded with the Giants, 2 moves to move back at Anton Harrison, traded with Seattle this year. I think Trent Baalke makes about as many trades as any GM in the league, honestly.
Yeah, yes.
I don't know. And that's more anecdotal. I don't have a list of trades by GM over the last several years.
A bit with San Francisco. Trades a bit with Minnesota, but he trades with other teams.
By the way, the Ezra Cleveland deal looking pretty solid right now. And we'll find out. I mean, obviously, I think, love the one he did in the draft with Minnesota, moving back and getting a 3rd and 4th and a 5th. Hopefully, Keelan Robinson will turn into something. But to get Brian Thomas and still have 2 picks in the 3rd and 4th round next year, honestly, that's the only sad thing, Tone, about this deal. Is it may solidify a team that you own a couple of their draft picks. You lost your left tackle. Let's see you spiral down into the, out of playoff contention here, and let's improve those picks along the way.
Yeah.
There is some of that, right? I mean, I'm not saying that's your major concern in the deal.
Yeah, do you really, right.
Good to get, 3 draft picks, out of that deal. Yeah, out of the Brian Thomas thing. But they're not getting any better.
I think we thought Minnesota's picks would be better. Yeah. Right. And they probably did as well, but they've been, we didn't know. Would it be J.J. McCarthy? Would it be Sam Darnold? Either one you didn't necessarily think was going to light the world on fire.
They're 5-2, lost 2 in a row. They could.
Yeah. Well, down the tubes. Let's go.
Slide. Yeah.
Cam, do your thing. Let's go. Come on. Go get Darnold killed. All right? If you can get that done, we would appreciate it. All right, let's see. Some of the reaction. I think most people are like, in general, no matter what the impetus is behind it, most people are pretty fine with the deal. They understand. You're in this position.
I think once you saw it, you went, okay, well, yeah, I get it.
I mean, as soon as Darrisaw went down last Thursday, we mentioned it last week. Like, there's a team that needs a left tackle.
Right.
We got a couple of them. Although Doug says we're not doing a fire sale. I don't know. Who knows? If they beat Green Bay, do they do this move? I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that.
Hard. I'm not sure it's possible to know because we'll never know. I mean, like
right. Even they might not know what they would have done in that circumstance.
Had you picked up the phone at 3-5, you may say, now we're going to give one more week. Call us Monday.
Right. I mean, that game could have gone a lot. Like, I would always prefer that almost always prefer the Jags win. The one exception being when they were in position to get Trevor Lawrence. Like, let's not blow this, right?
I do think what happened this weekend with Cam weighs heavy and all that.
I think it does too, Tone. But I also wonder, like, if you win that game and your defense steps up and you come down, you get a field goal and you win that game, you still got ravaged by injury. You know what I mean? Like, who knows how they feel? Like, we squeaked by against a quarterback who was on one leg for a half, and then
but you had one more week until the trade deadline, so
you did. Maybe you waited. Maybe you put it off. Sure.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before you came here, John. The idea maybe you wait a week, and maybe somebody else has an injury, and then you create a competition.
Right.
But maybe in the meantime, Minnesota's like, well, we can't wait.
Right.
And maybe we can't find another guy of Cam Robinson's caliber, but we'll go plug that hole with somebody else. And once they do that, that may be your only trade partner.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't fault even the compensation, although I do feel like if Trent Baalke, and I'm not saying this guarantee, I can't get in Shad Khan's head, right? But if Trent Baalke felt like, damn it, we have to get wins in the second half of this season or else, they're going to clean house here.
Right.
I don't think he's trading for a pick 2 years down the line for a guy whom you may need.
Yeah.
If you get hurt. Because if you really felt that intensity of that pressure of, now, all the excuses are done, winning time, this is all it's about. Well, you're 2-6. That heat should be scalding at this point in time. If you felt like your job security was in jeopardy. Now, maybe he doesn't feel like it, and maybe he's wrong.
Right.
We don't know how it's all going to go down. I do know, Tony, that for some reason, the fuzzy pictures on Twitter returned today for me.
Oh, did they?
Right? Like, I try to post a good Cam Robinson photo, and before I hit submit, I'm like, that doesn't look great. Let me do it on my phone. They're usually sharper on my phone. Look crystal clear on my phone, and it's one of those that when it posted, it's like that look when you're driving down a highway in the summer and you see in the distance the little waves rising up off the road. That's what's coming off of Cam's body in this because it's not clearly defined. Maybe by the end of the week, like Marty McFly, he'll disappear entirely from this photo and be like he never played for the Jaguars.
It's like there's Jaguars Twitter, now there's fuzzy Twitter.
Fuzzy Jaguars Twitter, we'll call it. All right, here is some of the response we got. What is your reaction to the Jags trading Cam Robinson to the Vikings? Scott said, figured he was gone next offseason, so considering our current win-loss situation, I'm glad we got something for him. Brandon said, not very significant for the Jags, but I feel the compensation is really low. Conditional 6th in 2026. It's actually a conditional 5th, and the likelihood is if Cam stays healthy, it'll be a 4th, right? So there is that, but a 4th in 2026 is like the equivalent of a 5th next year. That's usually the standard, add a round for each year further into the future. Let's see, Kyle said, Vikings won the trade. Jags look like suckers when you see what they gave up versus what we received. Another L for Baalke on this trade.
Okay.
They're 2-6 with Cam Robinson on the roster.
If you want to trade this aged veteran
for a 9-game rental.
This is about what the market, like, he didn't.
Right, I don't think this is.
If you want to make the trade, these are going to be the terms.
And by the way, the Vikings had no picks next year after the first round until really, really late.
We got them all.
We have a couple of them.
Right.
We got a couple of them for sure. But they traded their second-round pick. I would have loved like Cam and a 4th to get. We'll give you that 4th back. So you move. This is going to move us up exactly 2 rounds. But I don't think that's.
Yeah.
What the Vikings were.
Right.
Interested in, are you going to give up your second-round pick for a 9-game rental, a potential 9-game rental? So, but that's Kyle's opinion. That's fine. Richmond Jags said no huge loss, but it seems like an indication that Balky feels safe. Also, no left tackle under contract after the season unless he said Mason. He meant Anton. I saw that. He just mistyped that, thinking another big man name in there. And we'll see. For the foreseeable future, it'll probably be Walker Little. There may come a point where even if it's just a game or two down the stretch, like let's get Anton a few weeks of reps in practice and get him out there.
Surprise me at all.
Right. Let's see. Jag Knoll said, shows the team knows the season is over. You traded 2 starters for draft picks that you won't do anything with. The owner has said it's the best Jags team assembled, yet the season is done at the halfway point. Time for changes and not just moving players out. That's in the hands of Shad Khan, right? And no question about it. The idea, like for some people saying, I hate that Balky's trading us for picks that he'll do nothing with. For one thing, you don't know that it'll be Balky utilizing those picks. And do you not want the picks? Like, wouldn't you rather have a shot that he gets lucky, right? If you really think he's just the worst drafter of all time, maybe you get lucky and just happen to pick a good player.
Like,
with
the, going through some of these responses, I would love for someone to explain how this is bad. Right?
Was Ventrell Miller a 4th-round pick?
Right.
So if this turns into a 4th-round pick?
Like, I get it that
Parker
you don't
Washington,
like who potentially might be using the pick or who made the trade. I understand both sides of that, and I'm okay with that. Again, how many times do we have to say, I'd be fine if Trent was fired today. Like, it wouldn't bother me if that's the decision that the organization made. But I'm not upset that they made what turned out what looks to me to be a reasonable deal for a player that had no long-term future in the city. Fine. Explain to me how the deal is bad. I understand why you may not like it because of who made the trade, right? Which expressing all your reaction being, I don't like who made the trade, essentially, it's like, all right, you gave me no new information, but okay.
Right. Teal Hydra said, reaction. Sad that this is our focus of conversation because we're 2-6. Amen. Right? We don't want to be talking. We'd rather be talking about, hey, we just made a move for Josh Uche. Like Kansas City did. Right. And, and somebody said, why don't we make these kind of moves? Well, they did with Ezra Cleveland last year.
They did.
I mean, and
that made sense at the time.
And it still makes sense.
Right. But I'm saying now you would not necessarily want to see them going after. If the player was right, you would.
Right.
It wouldn't make sense. It'd be getting more criticism than what they did.
Let's see. Always better from Josh to get something for a player than let them walk out for nothing. 6th and 7th round picks won't really impact the team, but it makes Balky happy. Again, they're getting potentially a 4th round pick in this deal. It's Cam and a 7th, which can, based on playing time, the 7th can revert back to the Jags for a 5th, and based on playing time, can improve to a 4th. So
it would be surprising if it's not a 4th at this point.
And I would think.
And if it does go where he doesn't get the playing time, then it's a 5th.
Then it's a 5th. So it's not a 7th.
And you didn't send anything except Cam. Like even the 7th.
Potentially the 7th.
Yeah.
But if he got hurt this week,
right,
then it's probably Cam and a 7th for a 5th.
Yeah.
But if he got hurt this week, you wouldn't have him anyway.
Yeah, I don't know why the playing time parameters on that would be different for both sides. Necessarily, right? Like if he hits whatever the playing time parameter is, it's a 4th, and the Jags send a 7th. If he doesn't, it's a 5th, and the Jags send Cam. Right? Like that's the extent of what they said. That's how at least I read the deal. Okay, I'm good with the deal.
Yeah, I think the vast majority of folks on here are saying the same thing. Like, hey, sucks that we're in this spot, but since we're in this spot,
they are. Yeah,
let's get something rather than nothing at this point in time. All right.
Something is always better than nothing.
What if it's punishment?
And it's worse.
Right. It depends.
At least you know somebody cared enough to punish you.
Tony, that's the way to look at it. There you go. I love it. All right, let's welcome in Helmets and Heels.
Now, the 2-minute drill brought to you by Injury Care Centers. Discover BioTarget Regenerative Therapy, a safer drug-free solution for lasting pain relief. Visit GoBioTarget.com.
This may be the funniest response so far, your reaction to Cam Robinson being dealt. Wish he was going to Houston. There's somebody who doesn't have a high opinion of Cam Robinson right there. So Hello, Mia O'Brien.
That is good, yeah.
How are you?
Although he will have to return in 2 weeks, which is rather interesting when the Vikings travel to play the Jaguars.
Yeah, and as somebody pointed out, he'll have to face Joe Gaziano on 50% of those snaps out there as coming off the edge.
That's going to be an interesting soundbite.
Got to keep Josh Hines-Allen fresh. Got to keep him fresh for the home stretch
Fresh
here.
is key.
What is your reaction overall here to what went down with the trade?
Had to be done.
Had to be done. Why?
Because he essentially left them no choice when on Sunday Cam Robinson trotted out to the field with ankle socks on and didn't have his full padding on, and that all but kind of was the writing on the wall from my vantage point.
Wagaman said yesterday wasn't even taped up. Like, if so, whether he goes, damn it, I'm not playing, or he just shows up unprepared to play, it's basically the same
That's
thing.
on the player. And that's where, even if the team was already looking to move him, now the player has forced his hand. And so now you have no choice, because how can you have everyone show back up to work on Wednesday in light of the actions on Sunday and expect it to be hunky-dory, no issue? That's my personal opinion, just looking at the various elements to this situation.
Right, and I'm not there on the sideline. I'm not sitting in the press box observing the behavior on the sideline, but there have been enough people that have told me the same thing that they observed, and I'm not talking about, the drunk guy in Section 420. We love you, drunk guy in Section 420, but you're not our source, right? And
Envious of the guy.
Envious at times, no question about it. But you get the idea. It's if that really went down like that, sometimes it's addition by subtraction. And, I think most people are okay with the move and even okay with the compensation, But do you agree or not that it's a sign of a GM that thinks he has some job security if he's trading for a pick that's 2 years out?
No.
You don't?
I don't think there's any correlation.
Okay.
I if anything, I thought this move would have happened earlier yesterday. And I don't know anything about the situation in terms of who and how many teams reached out. But the fact that it didn't go down until after 7 o'clock last night says to me that they tried to wait this thing out to see if they could get a better offer.
Mhm.
And that's just good business, and that's living in the moment in my estimation. And the fact that this was, at least on the surface and from what we can infer, the best offer you got, I don't know if that says something more about the player or the need around the league than it does the GM standing in the building.
I would say, though, if I'm the GM and I've been told that I have to win this year and I really believe that there's that pressure, I'm not getting anything back that helps me do that, right? And so I think that's me. And maybe I'm wrong.
Outside
I'd be
of a
less
player,
inclined.
right, but outside of a player, what are you going to get that's going to help you right now?
Yeah, a player. Or keep your tackle depth if you think that.
But again, the situation it took a turn on Sunday. They had no choice.
I get
Because he wants to keep his job right now, he has to keep that locker room together, and ultimately that's why I think you had to part ways with Cam
There's
Robinson.
the twist. All right, Mia, what's coming up on Helmets and Heels?
Absolutely loaded Helmets and Heels. John Kincaid from up in Philly, 97.5 The Fanatic, going to join us coming up at 12:40 to talk the Eagles. We have Myles Garrett. No, not that Myles Garrett. The other Myles Garrett of
The
Fox.
good Myles Garrett.
The good Myles Garrett with an I of Fox 5 Atlanta. Of course, the official station of the Georgia Bulldogs up there in the ATL will join us at 1 to preview the cocktail party. We also have a very special guest joining us at 1:18. Nico, who's a local student here in Jacksonville at Ed White High School, was the Boys and Girls Club of America Youth of the Year. You may have seen him, Mike. He actually delivered the first pitch out to the mound in Los Angeles on Saturday for Game 2 of the World Series at Dodger Stadium. And so we're going to talk to Nico about his experience across the country over in L.A. Not exactly the best result if you're a Yankees fan there, but we got a good result last night. And we will talk, yes, about the fan interference with Mookie Betts.
So not that Nico and not that Myles Garrett. But
correct.
Other than that.
I was never even the Youth of the Year on my street.
I know, to be Youth of the Year in the country. That's what I mean.
That's pretty big.
Heck of an honor.
That's
So,
pretty
and
big.
it's a
in my
kid
house, and I was an only child.
It's a kid from Jacksonville too. So we're excited to welcome Nico on to Helmets and Heels.
All right, have a great show.
Thank you.
Mia O'Brien. More on the Cam Robinson front, I'm sure, coming your way all day long here on your home for Jaguar football. 1010XL. Johnny, where will we catch you between now and Sunday?
Parker Washington on the Ozone podcast this week. Looking forward to that.
We are as well.
Yeah, well,
I am. I want to hear from him. I think Parker's a good young man with a great opportunity.
Much
Seems like
more
a hard
equipped
worker.
to step into the role he got thrust into
Absolutely,
last year.
Sean. There was a lot of buzz, unofficial buzz during training camp that he might be the most improved player on the roster from the previous season.
It's a real opportunity, and you've seen enough to think that he may take advantage of it.
All right, that's John Oehser for Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark. I'm Mike Dempsey. We'll be back again tomorrow. Breakfast Bowl, D-Rock.
He lost
Dig
again?
deep by a tenth of a point. It was tied, and they stat corrected 1 yard immediately after the game. Took a yard away from D-Rock, and he's buying.
Losing's in his blood.
It's the best. Losing really is in his blood. There you go. All right, Mike DeRocco will join us tomorrow. That'll do it for us today. Thanks for listening to Jags.